I'm Jake Lanners. I'm going to be calculating the contribution margin and the contribution margin ratio. Okay, so the contribution margin is excess sales revenue over variable expenses. So it tells managers how much revenue is left after paying variable expenses, and it can be done as a percentage or ratio. So just quick here, calculating the contribution margin is your sales price over your variable cost. So say you're selling pineapples, your cost is $10 a pineapple and your variable cost is $3 a pineapple. So if you're selling it for $10 and they cost you $3, your contribution margin is going to be $7. The margin ratio is the contribution margin over sales revenue. This can be done per unit or as total revenue. So if we're just doing per unit, you would take the contribution margin that we did in the previous problem, which is $7, over your sales revenue per unit, which is $10, and it'd be 7 over 10. That's going to equal 70%. If we do total revenue, say we sell 10 pineapples, it's going to be 70 over 100. Because you take each number times 10, it's going to give you 70% again. It doesn't matter, you will get the same answer. Putting it all together here, say somebody sells 300 pineapples at $10 a piece and their variable price is $3 again. We're going to stick with the same numbers. So your total CM is going to be 10 times 300 minus 3 times 300. Which is, it's going to be 3,000 minus 900 is going to be $2,100 total. This isn't per unit, this is total revenue. So you know your CM is $2,100. So if you want to find the ratio, you put $2,100 over $3,000 because that's going to be your total revenue. It's going to give you 70%. If a manager wants to know how much contribution margin, if he wants to know his contribution margin if he sells 450 pineapples next month, he can take his expected revenue multiplied by 70% to get his contribution margin. So say he sells 450, you take that times 10, it's going to be 4,500, and you can just times that by 70%, and your contribution margin will be $3,100, $3,150. What the margin ratio tells us is that how much money we have left after our variable expenses. So like the 70% here is telling us we have 70% left of our revenue to spend on our fixed expenses or profit, which is saying that 30% of our revenue is going towards the variable expenses. So the 70% you can use to, say you need lights, electricity, to pay your workers, that's all fixed expenses. That's what that 70% is going, that's where your money's going to come from, is that 70%. Any fixed expenses that you don't use from that 70% is going to be profit. That is the end.